Hello and welcome to the shop. Today I'm going to turn a pin out of a blank that I got from Julee McNeill and Bennie Watkins over at Woodpeckers Landing. Now Julee and Bennie are friends of mine. We met up at the Mid-Ohio Valley Pin Turners Gathering and I bought a bunch of blanks from them and Bennie threw some other ones in, and I have been meaning to make this video for a long time because they're just good down-to-earth people, and if you are a turner, you need to know about these guys. You need to go check out their website. I'm going to put a link down in the comments below. They have pin blanks, they have bowl blanks, they have some amazing, absolutely stunning wood. Go check them out, see what they have, and if you see something that you like, contact them. Let them know I sent you because, like I said, they're friends of mine and they'll get a kick out of that, and see if maybe they got something that's going to look good on your lathe. Let's run over to the lathe and get started turning this blank. I decided to take a little pit stop on the way to the lathe and kind of show you the wood that I got from Bennie and Julee. There's some blue maho, some pheasant wood, a little almond, some camphor, some mango. This is called Capa Blanco, some Lignum Vitae. I got some chestnuts, some Santa Maria, and some staghorn sumac. Now today, I'm going to be turning this beautiful Lignum Vitae blank. I've brought my blank over to the lathe. I've never turned Lignum Vitae before, so I'm interested to see how it turns and especially how it finishes. Now, if you would like to know how I prepared this blank for the lathe, I'll put a link in the comments below to a video that will show you all the steps that I go through to prepare a wood blank for turning. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do my CA finish on this. It has a very oily feel to it, almost waxy. So I don't think CA is going to be my finish of choice for this piece of wood. It's a beautiful piece of wood though. Just look at the grain in that thing. That should do it for the turning. I think what I'm going to do now is turn my attention to sanding. This is a really interesting wood. The feel of it, I mean, I've never felt anything like it. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to put boiled linseed oil on this blank, and that will take a little bit longer to finish because I'll have to wait for that BLO to completely dry. But I'm going to go ahead and get it sanded up. We'll cover it in BLO. I may put more than one coat. And once the boiled linseed oil fully dries, then I think I may come back and put a little CA over it to see how that works. I'm still just really amazed at the feel of this wood. It's just that oily feel. It's different. I like it. It's kind of cool. I'm going to clean it up with a little denatured alcohol. Flip it over here. Get it nice and clean. Then we're going to let that alcohol evaporate. Boy, it's evaporating quick. Look at that. And once it's fully evaporated, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go ahead and do the boiled linseed oil. I don't know if I'll do just one application or if I'll do two. I'll keep you posted in the video here. I'll actually turn the camera back on when I apply the BLO and let you watch so you can see what it looks like. Just going to wipe the BLO on. Really brings out the grain in the wood. And I'm just going to let it sit and soak in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a dowel rod and I'm going to remove the tailstock and slide the dowel rod through the blank. Because this is turned between centers, I should be able to do that. And I'll leave it on the dowel rod to dry. That way I can remove my bushings and come back for turning something else. Let me wipe a little bit of this BLO off the bushings. There we go. And we're just going to let it sit there and soak in and do its job. Just so you guys don't worry, I took the rag that I wiped the BLO on with, put it in just an old cup, and filled it with water, flooded it with water. I've heard stories of boiled linseed oil could possibly ignite in a trash can and cause a fire. This will prevent that from happening. I'll let it soak, and then I'll dump the water off and get rid of the towel tomorrow. I just read the can, and it says after about 5 to 10 minutes to wipe the excess off, and then it takes about 12 to 18 hours to fully dry. So this blank will have to wait until tomorrow to be finished. I gave the boiled linseed oil overnight to dry, and now I'm just going to buff it up a little bit with a paper towel. Just to, in case there's any residue on it, just clean it up a little bit. Looks really nice. It gave the wood a nice, very nice natural look. It really brought the grain out. What I'm going to do now is attempt to go ahead and apply my CA glue right over top of the BLO. First coat of thin going on. Looks pretty good. It went on really smooth. I don't see any discoloration or any pooling of the CA. I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry. I won't need to apply as many coats of thin as I normally do because this blank should have been sealed fairly well by the boiled linseed oil. It's really looking nice. Look at the grain. I think the BLO kind of brought that grain out a little bit, and probably is going to help this blank look better than it would have looked if I just put straight CA on it. That's 2 coats of thin. I think I'm going to go ahead and migrate to medium. As I look at my reflection line here, this is the line from my lights above the lathe. As I roll the blank through, what I can see is little divots in the blank, you know, little, I guess it's grain marks. And what I want to do is use the medium to fill those. So we're going to apply at least 3 coats of medium. We'll keep an eye on those little divots, and we're going to keep applying medium until they go away. First coat of medium, and I can already see that it's starting to fill and level. I'm thinking 3 coats may be just perfect. I'm really happy with how the CA is filling this and leveling this blank. That was the second coat of medium. We're going to let this dry for a while naturally, and then we'll apply our final coat. Ready to apply my last coat of medium CA. Just want to make sure I smooth everything out. Take a quick peek at it. The blank looks great. I'm just going to let this spin and dry, and I will hit it with a thin coat of activator right before I micro mesh. It's going to look beautiful. Got a CA finish on my blank. It's been micro meshed and it's ready for the buffing wheels. I'm ready to assemble the pen. I'm going to be using a gunmetal and chrome monarch kit that I purchased from Classic Nib. Let's go ahead and open up our press. We'll start by inserting the cap and clip assembly into the back end of the pen. I've been rotating my blanks as I press them together, just to make sure that I'm putting equal pressure on each side and aligning my blank up, or aligning my fitting up so that it goes in nice and square. It seems to help me with alignment. There we go. Nice tight fit. Take a look at that. Beautiful fit between the components and the pin. That's just a gorgeous piece of wood. Let's assemble the front half. We'll take our nib. I've already slid the spring on, and I like to put the small end of the spring toward the large end of the refill. Slide that into our nib. We will thread our transmission on. Give it a couple of test twists. There's like a lubrication in there, some type of a grease, and I like to work it a couple of times to get that grease worked in, and then it's super smooth with the action on the transmission. Snap our pieces together, and that is gorgeous. Take a look at that pin. Lignum Vitae Monarch pin kit. Absolutely stunning. I'd really like to thank you for joining me today for the turning of this pin. This Lignum Vitae is absolutely gorgeous. This is the first time that I have really used boiled linseed oil and CA, and I am truly impressed. This wood, because it is oily, I think teak is another one that's fairly oily. I have had trouble in the past getting a finish on oily woods. Now, I've never turned Lignum Vitae before. This is the first time. And letting the boiled linseed oil soak in overnight and do its job, it's fantastic, the result I got, and it really brought out the grain in the wood. So this is a technique that I'll be using again over and over in the future, especially with woods like Lignum Vitae and teak and anything else with an oil in it. I'd really like to thank you for joining me in the shop today. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon, and have a great evening, everybody.